Hello guys and welcome back. We're going to be constructing this town a bit more as we continue to play City Skylines starting from the very beginning. If you are ready for today's missions, we're going to see how far we can progress through all of these milestones. So we'll try and get up to, Tiny Town or even Boom Town. So where are we going to start? Let's see if we're going to get a boom town. First things we're going to need is some people. Looks like we have some stuff over here for people, but unfortunately we aren't too busy on building homes over here. So what are some of the things we can do to build homes over here? We could build a school, which it looks like the school is situated for this area really only. We could build some sort of a healthcare building, but at this point in time we've already got our healthcare building, and maybe this might not have been the best location to put our buildings, especially if we're going to want to try and appeal to a large group of people. So let's go ahead and extend this down, and maybe instead of putting our school all the way on the end over there, let's just put it right next to this highway, and let's put the clinic in a similar location. That way when we're expanding into this side, we can have that as well. So let's see. Looks like we've got some people driving around. We're gonna go ahead and see what else they need over here, and honestly they're probably gonna need some electricity, so we'll just build this little power line. And then we'll speed the game up. We'll try and get some more development, and if you look on our bottom side of the development indicator, it looks like people are wanting some more industry. Now, last game we said how we're not building too much industry because we want to find a better place to put our largest industry area, because we've got so much pollution could be created and we don't know which way the wind is going. Let's see, we've got our air pollution, as you can see, is being generated. We have our water pollution going down the river. So we're going to make sure we build our little polluting area somewhere far away from all of this, all of the densely populated area. So maybe we'll build it up here, and we'll build it down here. We'll just have to see if there's any prevailing winds. But for now, we're going to keep on building a couple more areas down here. And it looks like we've got some people moving in on this side of the highway, which is good. That's what we'd like. We're going to keep on expanding this way, and you'll notice I'm still using those big roads. Most likely going to be enough to handle when we have even more traffic in this area, and that's really my biggest reasoning for using these roads. And it looks like we're running out of money. Isn't that the deal? Every single time I start a game here, it's easy to expand fast. And let's see, and it wants me to do a trash service. So yet another polluting service. This one's sort of expensive here, 16,000. I like to go with the recycling center, just because when you deal with a landfill, if you don't want the landfill in your game forever, you have to deal with emptying the landfill. And so we'll see if we can save up enough money to get us right straight to the recycling center. Looks like our traffic is pretty okay. We've got a little bit of noise up in this area. And let's see, we'll build this out over here. We need 16,000. Now's a good time to chat about taxes and loans, because we could take that 16,000 out right now. And I'm going to be honest, we could do that. The interest rate is the lowest with the smallest loan, but if you look down here, we've got a little bit more indication of, is that service really needed? No trash is piling up yet. I know it really wants me to do a landfill site, but we can probably wait a little bit longer. So let's see how that goes if we wait. And it looks to me like we also don't need this. I never realized down here the interest rates 5%, 10%, 15. Geez, that's a pretty large interest rate to borrow, but you do get to borrow a lot more money, be at the 200,000 once we unlock that. And then let's go over here. Let's see how our education is doing. Well, we've got a lot of students, and to be honest, we've got too much funding on our education because the capacity is outstripping availability. So, I'm sorry, the availability is outstripping capacity. So we're just gonna decrease this a little bit because we honestly don't need that many people. That'll help save us some money. And let's see, we still have enough so everyone's getting educated. And this is our first sign right there that somebody is needing garbage service. So, you know, we are going to do the loan, unfortunately. I don't like doing these, but I think it's the smart thing to do early on if you really need a service. Now, we can always pay the loan back early. So right now we have a payment of $19,000 left. And we're going to just try and see if we can get there. You know, see, we're already at 13 just by waiting. So we had the loan. We didn't take the loan out until we really needed it. But now, you know, we're running into some problems with our electric usage. This game has so many cascading effects that are just a little fun way of keeping you engaged. And let's see if we can boost our electric budget. We could probably make more electricity, or it might be time to consider another electricity plant. Now, unfortunately, we can't build any more plants right now, but maybe we'll want to add on with one of these wind turbines or something in the future, or another water type wind turbine. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Oh, and our healthcare is another thing that we are funding too much, because if you look up here in our healthcare, we've got a capacity of 100 and only 4 are sick. We can just take that down. Now, it will take our efficiency down, but it'll also take our costs down, which will be helpful for when we're trying to repay this loan, because I always try and repay them, you know, as soon as we can, because it's not worth having loans outstanding and taking a toll on your city. If you look back here, we can also increase our taxes. I'm going to keep our taxes at bay right now. I don't want to affect our demand too much. But it looks like here we got a pretty good system. We can even decrease our garbage processing. You know, we're only using about 1/4 of the capacity, so we can afford to take a little bit of a production hit if it gives us more capacity financially. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. You know, I think we have a little more room if we want to add a couple more buildings that could help increase our tax revenue. It might push us into needing a little bit more electricity. We'll see how that goes. And then we got this little notification. Let's see, low land value. Well, we'll fix that pretty darn soon. So let's see up here. We've got our happiness index. Looks like quite a bit of happy people in this little corner shop store area. And, you know, people like the commercial zones. So that's always a good thing to have. From our loan, we've got $16,000 left. We've got about $12,000 in cost. We're just going to go ahead and try and pay that off. So as we continue to look through here, we're getting sort of towards our peak capacity in the schools. So what I'm going to do is increase our school funding just a nudge so that we have our peak capacity. And I always find this funny because, you know, night school for day and for night, I usually keep them equal, but it's sort of comical how you would fund like each of them for the same amount, because even though night school exists, it's certainly not the same capacity needed during the night or the day. So sometimes these residential areas will have these buildings that have low land value, and one of the ways I like to go about fixing that is through parks or landmarks. We'll haven't unlocked any of those yet, but we'll be getting there soon. I'm just looking at how much income we're getting, and it looks like we are doing pretty darn good. We are very close to being able to pay. We'll just pay that off. And then now we are loan free. If you look at our money at the bottom, we've got more weekly income coming in. And then this electricity availability is a little worrisome. So what I'm going to do is just, whoop, that's the road budget. I'll just boost our electric. And now we can build up to 16. We're a little bit more financially constrained with that, but it'll help us get to that number. Now we'll just keep expanding here, because really the road to expansion is what's going to provide what we need from a standpoint of unlocking more things and progressing our milestones. So that's really our goal at this point in time, is to just keep expanding. So we're going to do that. We're going to try and expand more in this direction as we've been chatting about. So let's go ahead and connect some of these, and then we'll just keep on building. Looks like we've even got some room commercially here to expand. And there we are, we reached a worthy village. So we'll expand commercially because everyone loves that. And sometimes, you know, to make these tiny road adjustments, you might have to delete the road and then replace it so it actually connects. That's just a little thing that we could fix with some mods, but I'm trying to not use too many mods right now until we get to talking about them, which we will in the near future. Let's see, as they keep building out those commercial areas, we'll just speed up our game again. And it looks like we've got that increased grant money. One of the most important things, I think, in putting down buildings after we now have that increase is going to be a fire station. Fire stations are obviously super important in real life and in your game. If you don't put one down and there's a fire, you could land into trouble. We're going to put it down over here, just in this sort of commercial district. We'll just do right there, and we'll see how that tends to go. Oh, and you know, maybe I want to move it one little block that way so that if I make another, then it doesn't disrupt it. Perfect. Now, let's see. Let's build another little one of my branching arms that I like here. And then I really need to be trying to push more of the construction to this side. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to need an on-ramp and an off-ramp to the highway, though. And I'm thinking that we'll probably have one of those probably about right here. So we'll get a real big road coming up, and we'll just build that eventually. You know, we don't have quite enough money yet, but we've got a couple intersection assets that I've downloaded, and I'll show you those. We'll get some of these set up. We just need to get a little bit more of a population, and to be honest, we're not even having that much of a population entering our city yet, so we don't really need to do that quite yet, which is a good thing. We'll just let these things keep going. We've got our fire station, and it's going to be time for a police station soon. And now it wants us to start with some districts. So we've got some districts. These can be used to create policies. So we're going to create a little district here, and a little district. We'll just extend this into all of this area. So this is like a residential neighborhood, and then down here we've got our residential, and then we've really entered the commercial right here. So each districts have policies that you can adjust. So if you have a district here and you click on policies, we could get, you know, smoke detectors. Now we're trying to increase our population, increase our income to do that, so I'm not going to set any district policies quite yet, but there are plenty of policies, and we will definitely get into those in the future. And honestly, that sort of brings me into a segue, because unfortunately we'll chat about how City Skylines 2 has had some problems, because let's say that I'd like to, build something. We were chatting about, like even the school types. You know, there's so many different types of schools, so many, and City Skylines 2 doesn't just have that yet. They really have released sort of an incomplete game, unfortunately. There's just less to do, less to play with, less to put down, so we're just gonna continue building our little services out here, and I think we'll add some more of the residential zones in this little area. Now, I don't want this to be like a bash or anything on City Skylines 2. It's just something that I noticed while playing. You know, this game has been around for so long. It's been developed for many years. There's such a rich mod community. Oh, and by the way, I'm switching down here to wide sidewalks, so that way we have a bunch of area for people to walk and encourage pedestrian activity versus, you know, parked car activity. So we'll see how that does when we encourage this with some of those wide sidewalks and narrow roads. We haven't quite gotten into public transit yet. We will, but we're going to get there into a bit. And in all honesty, we really could just add a bunch of these roads. You know, I'm not a big fan of the street parking in this game. I think it looks sort of ugly. So we can just add away all the roads that we build. We're just going to have wide sidewalks, you know, and that'll just encourage people not to park on them, but also to, you know, do their walking from place to place. And it's better to just get this out of the way now than having to redo your entire city. And, you know, the best part is you're not even, you know, at any disadvantage for having a lack of parking. So looks like they want some more residential properties. We will give them some more of that, and then we'll just keep on building. So we've got some good intersections popping up, and we're making our way towards our next town size. And honestly, we're almost at the limit here of needing a whole nother row. So let's go ahead and build a little bit up, build over and down. Looks like we are at our money limit, so that's another problem. And to be honest, we don't even really need this, like, this highway portion, so maybe we'll just build here instead, because this bridge isn't even really that crowded right now, so that's a good thing. And we'll just keep adding as much as we can. There we go. Because at this point in the game, we really want to build up our population and get those milestones. So we'll just keep adding. Let's see, looks like we're doing pretty good from a electricity perspective still, but we're going to be certainly in need of the water in both directions, and that's something you have to pay for in Cities 1. City Skylines 2, you don't have to pay for that. No, you know what, I'll do a lot of comparison, because frankly, I think I enjoy this game more. I've played this game for about 400 hours, City Skylines 2 for, I want to say like 8 hours or something, but honestly, I've just so thoroughly enjoyed Cities 1 because it's just got so much content in it. So let's see, looks like here we're getting pretty darn close to our next little area here. We just need to add some more houses, grow our population even more. And see, I'm not even building a new road here. I can just add houses to our population area. And that's a nice little trick that I use. And that way we don't have to worry about the services. We can just keep on building without having to do that too much. And looks like our electricity is pretty darn taken care of. The only problem would be if the wind dies down, which, you know, I'm not sure if it does or doesn't. We'll have to find that out together. Let's see, we could build a police station, which we already did. We got our fire station. So really it's about time. Oh, and look at this, you know, we reduced our schools before. It's time to increase those back to 100% efficiency, and then everyone can get to school. So let's see, going through here, we'll just keep building, and then we'll just connect these up, and that allows us to build even more if we look at our housing, we've only got about 60 more people until we reach our next level. And if we go down here, we'll just keep on extending this. Now, I seem to have built an intersection here that I wasn't really anticipating. I like to do that little thing where I allow some space, and that's just for the future if we want to do like a pedestrian bridge or something. So we're just going to extend that up, and then we'll probably make use of a nice large painting tool. There we go. Easy to do instead of, or a selecting tool, easy to do the selecting in that situation instead of the painting. And then it really asks us to keep on going towards our next area. So maybe we'll just expand. We'll just keep going in this direction. Looks like it's 4,000. I think that's what we're going to want to do expansion-wise. So let's just maybe build in this direction. We'll just keep on building. Let's see. And this, if you look at these tiles, you know, they're pretty big tiles. There's our expansion right there. There's a lot of room. We're just going to go ahead and use some of that extra money and just buy this tile. You know, now we can really expand more in this direction, and it might be time to offer some more city services. And to be honest, it might be time to have a vertical road going with this large size. So let's just add these. And then this is going to be probably a bigger intersection in the future. What did we get with this last milestone of Tiny Town? We got parks, industry areas, pedestrian. We got quite a bit down here. So let's go ahead and see what's next for our, probably an elementary school, and definitely some parks. So let's go ahead into here. Birthday plaza, that's sort of fun. And let's see, let's build a park, maybe at this whole area, somewhere that people are going to be interested in visiting. We can't really do much with the parks until we create a park zone. So I'll show you how you do that. We just go into our district finder and we're going to paint a park area. Alright, so then we can think of, you know, what kind of park would we like in this area. I think a zoo would be sort of fun, but maybe that would fit more up here. I don't want to build too much because I know we're going to have some highway on-ramps and off-ramps. So let's see what we're going to do. We could build a city park or an amusement park. You know, I tend to think of that in a more populated area. So, you know, let's do the zoo. Because I'm a big fan of the zoos in this game. And it looks like they've got some parking lots here. That's very interesting. That's new. That's something that I haven't seen in this game because I've probably been playing Cities 2, which had a lot more of a parking. Looks like they've added a parking mechanic in it, which is sort of nice. We're going to add our high school, or at least try to add our high school soon. We've got our high capacity elementary school and a high school. Maybe we'll add that high school near this future park that we're building. Let's just keep the park simple, and we'll do like a city park, something not too big, since we're going to just fit it in this sort of small area. So here's our city park. We can add like another gate to it eventually. We can sort of fence it off if we'd like. Oh, at least I thought we could fence it off. There. No, it doesn't like the fence on that road. Let's see. Well, we don't have to fence it off if we don't want to. We can sort of use this and maybe get around that requirement. And to be honest, let's just build our park and see where we end up. We're gonna have a good intersection in our park, and first things first, we're looking for just a real good fountain area. And what's a park without a bathroom? Well, except we probably want them to come to the cafe first, and then they'll need to go to the bathroom. And we'll throw down an info booth as well, just to help them understand things about this park. The park has some tickets for entry. We'll just make our ticket price down because at this point we're not really trying to make money off the park. We'll add some ethics, and we'll add night tours and some recycling, all that good policies for our park. And we'll come back to this later. At this point, it's going to be time to build some more housing. We have a lot of housing to go to work on increasing our population enough. So we'll just keep on going here, building into these sort of big old roads. And who knows how far we'll need to expand our park. We'll just keep going this way. I think that's a pretty safe bet for a road that we'll want to extend. And then we'll just get a good area, good size of housing. Alright, we've got a lot of high school eligible students, so I'm really getting excited to build that high school. But for now, looks like we need to just keep on making that money. And let's see down here, we've got some commercial zone available. We'll put this in, and I believe we have access to pedestrian paths. Let's see. Oh, not quite yet, but I saw we unlocked different road types. Oh yeah, basically the dirt and gravel and all that. So I really want to put like a pedestrian path right there. Something where cars can't go and clog up, but people can. We haven't quite unlocked our transportation yet, but we'll surely get there with more and more population. We'll go ahead and add some plumbing, and this might be a good opportunity to sort of expand upward. We'll see maybe in the future. I know we're probably going to want to add an on-ramp here, and just another way for people to get to the highway. So but that's going to be an expensive endeavor, so maybe we'll wait. Let's see on this on-ramp. It looks like we're being utilized a fairly high amount. So maybe instead of that, we'll just add an on-ramp there, and then we can just delete this. That might help our traffic flow. And if we go up here, we can check how we're doing in our traffic. A little bit of congestion, not too bad. Again, this is phenomenal compared to where you can get to late game. So let's go ahead and do a bit more for today. Looks like we built quite enough there. We can even extend some of this industry and see what happens if we add a bit more industry buildings. Again, we're not trying to do too much industry, just enough to get what we need, and then we can add an industry area probably somewhere down here or down here in the future. So let's just keep on expanding and expanding. That is the name of the game, is building and building and building. So let's keep going here. We've got like this little park area that's sort of nice that we're working on. And let's see, maybe there's some people using the park, and I knew we'd run into this problem shortly. We'll just add another turbine. Still can't afford that high school though, unfortunately. We're getting there. Maybe if we just add some more houses without adding any more roads, we'd be able to afford a bit more with this increased tax revenue. Let's see how we're doing at this park. Looks like we've got some visitors. We're making some money. you know, maybe we try and raise it a little bit and see if we can get enough to, you know, pay for itself at least. It's a pretty small park, but we'll keep on adding to it. And I'm really excited to build that zoo later. So maybe we increase that and see if we get enough. But sometimes decreasing it is what you need to do to draw more people, more visitors to your park. Let's see if we go through here, back to our park screen. We will just get to our, where are we at here? City Park, that's what we're building. And we could add a side gate. Let's go ahead and just put a side gate up here, because why not? We can definitely afford that. And if we just fence it off a little bit, let's see if it'll let us. Maybe, maybe not. It will let us go along that border, but not this border. That's okay. We'll just go along this border for now. And then maybe we can connect that up. Distance too short, so we'll just delete that. There we go. What can we use this area for? Easily some housing. And then this area could be even more park buildings or utilities once we get to that. So let's see. Now we've got our park going. We're making quite a bit more money. Ticket prices aren't even really that bad, so we'll just keep going with this idea. And we've got quite a bit of residential demand, so honestly, I think we're just going to keep expanding this way, down further south, it looks like, or whatever cardinal direction this is. Let's see if we upgrade this road to match, upgrade a couple of these roads, just to discourage that street parking. Oh, what's this? This is the 2-lane with median. I meant to be doing this one. Good thing that doesn't cost anything to fix. There we go. Don't really need that median. Wonder when I switch to that. There we go. That should fix all of those. And we'll fix this up here too. Let's see if we can afford that high school now. We'll put a high school in a nice location next to the park. I know back in high school, people would like to, you know, hang out in a little area, and maybe we'll put a little side entrance to the park, see if people end up wanting to go there. And this is going to probably be a highly desirable area since it's right next to the high school for our people who move in nearby. So we'll easily get these guys to move in. Construction's pretty darn fast in that retrospect, and we're just going to add some of these pipes going down. And let's do another extension this way because we want to just increase our population even more. Let's see if we can just increase this entire area, because everyone will want to go to high school, and honestly we're probably going to need more elementary schools soon. Yeah, we've got more eligible, and our only elementary school is on sort of this side of the highway. So let's build another elementary school, and we could do a high capacity one. I think that would be a good idea for our next sort of step, but we're going to need 26,000, which is a steep price, but it's something that I think is going to be worth it as we continue to expand this area. And we can even put it next to the high school. So we'll just continue to expand this little park area. It looks like our park is doing okay. We've lost a bit of income. But if we just add another side gate, we'll add it over here. Maybe we can sort of get that number up. There's our park. Say we'll just do a little bit of adding on there. And you know, we could even add another building down here. You know, something that people would want to go to. A nice cafe or a restroom. And we'll just build a diagonal path. And then that can be a little more housing as we're sort of continuing our park. Let's see, building up across there. We can continue this a little bit more. And we'll get into a little bit on this park's expansion. So being able to build city parks is something that is an expansion. It's on the parks expansion, and that one has been really a fun expansion in my opinion, because you get the zoo, you get the city parks, you get the nature preserves, so you can actually do a huge amount with that. And there's a lot to do, a lot to build. As you see, we're building this park. I'm sort of maybe thinking about enclosing it on this end. We'll see if that ends up being something we'd like to do, but I know we can add some more of that area for housing, which every time we add housing, we got to add more pipes, more underground pipes. So we'll keep that going. And let's check on our garbage processing, because I know we cut their funding and it's not enough. So let's go ahead and boost their funding. And you know, while we're checking on the funding levels, we probably should also check on the healthcare funding, because you don't want to have something called death waves. And that's where basically, our park got upgraded. Death waves are where you have so many people passing away at one time that it really screws up your game's balance. And that's something we don't really want. Number one, because then you have to worry about like cemetery or crematorium space, but also that kills your population. So we're going to just keep on building onto this park here. And it looks like we had this chessboard, which I constructed, sort of blocking this path, but that's okay. We'll see if that causes more people to want to visit. It looks like we're back up to a larger amount there. And we're almost getting to our next level to go from tiny town to boom town. What else could we do here? I think we could also continue to build more housing, you know. So I've got this realistic population mod, which means the smaller houses have, you know, a smaller amount of people. The larger apartments will have a large amount of people. And that mod is something that I really enjoy playing with, because it just helps increase the density once we get to some of the larger areas in the game. And the density being a bit larger helps with public transit and everything, which, speaking of which, we still haven't unlocked. We're getting there. We're getting there real close, real soon. But we will unlock the public transit in our next upgrade tree. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little bit more extension. We can continue to maybe just connect this here, just because we're not connected here. But really, this highway isn't even being used that much, which is sort of nice. We have got a nice amount of use there. Our traffic isn't too horrible. In the future, we could always, you know, make something a one-way intersection if we want to. But we'll just keep on building. Maybe add a little bit more industry, even though, you know, every time I do it, I don't want to do it, because we can always add the industry somewhere else. Let's go ahead up here and see what kind of industry. We got some ore, we've got some oil, ore, trees. This looks like a good little farmland opportunity up here. This is going to be pretty close to our outlet, though, for doing any farms or big industries. But really, man, I wish I wasn't building our main city over here, because this could be a good area. We'll see. we will potentially utilize some of this farmland, but we'll definitely utilize some of that land to mine ore. And that leads me on to another setting that I started this game with, and that setting is unlimited ore and oil. I don't like unlimited money, but I do think unlimited ore and oil is not a bad setting to have enabled, just simply because once you build industry areas, if you have limited resources, then you're unfortunately going to run out of them, obviously, at some point. And then you have to deconstruct your industry area or move on to something else, which I don't think is as fun of a way to play the game. So we're going to add some 4-lane roads here. They allow you to add these 4 lanes in the smaller footprint, and we'll just see how that impacts our traffic flow. It should help a little bit if we add them sort of on these more main roads. Well, and then we're running out of power. As you see, we're sort of consuming a variable amount of electricity because, unfortunately, the wind is not very consistent. So we'll add one more, but hopefully we'll be able to build a different power grid soon. And honestly, we're going to have an entire, a whole nother one. We could get some more if we start building over here. 8 megawatts over here is the maximum. And did we already boost this to max? Yeah, we did. So we're almost there. We're almost going to hit this next milestone, and then we can hopefully add something else. Looks like we're still far ways away. We might have to add some sort of power plant using one of these coal or something. And that's one thing that Cities 2 does, or City Skylines 2. I'll just call it Cities 2, which is sort of nice, is you can import or export electricity. Now at this stage, I think we're going to add a coal plant or something with our next upgrade. Unfortunately, that's not going to be great for our pollution or environment, but we do really need to have some sort of reliable electrical generation. And we're getting to a point where I'm almost considering taking out a loan. Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll just add this slightly more energy efficient option. Oh, and what is that there? We got our boomtown. I'm just going to pause the game here so we can add this. And it looks like I've placed this a little too far in one area. We'll just move it, and then add our coal power plant, or this advanced wind turbine. Looks like we could get 15 megawatts versus out of this coal one, 56 megawatts. And I'm going to be honest, I think we should just go for turbine. Hit like one of these, maybe another one, and we'll go press play on that as well. We'll just fill up this river, and I built 2 simply because I wanted to first of all pay off our loan now that we can, and then with our budget we can go back to normal maintenance costs, and then hopefully we still have enough electric. Yeah, we got plenty of electric, and we even have enough money to go ahead and well, it wants us to build disaster infrastructure, but I want to build a high capacity elementary school. We'll just put these guys sort of close here to that high school. Perfect. We can have a lot of students here, and that is what we're going to want in the future. I'm just going to D-zone some of this so we can rezone it appropriate to take advantage of all that area. And now that we've accomplished that, we've unlocked the transit, which for now, I think this is going to be a good stopping point. We've got a little bit of money, but we'll just come back and see how we're doing. Oh, but this is the start of something. I see it. This game just ropes you right back in. We've got a couple people passed, which means that we're going to need some sort of facility to deal with their remains, which is either a cemetery or crematorium. And for us, we're just going to pick a cemetery. We'll put it at, say, a random location, maybe a little bit out of the way, and that'll pick up these past individuals, which is so funny. They all pass near the park. But the park looks good. It's now generating a profit, regardless of the people passing away. But that is just part of our game here. These little pieces are for like a pier, so we'll let our hearses travel from our cemetery as they deal with the deceased. And then we won't have any diseases, because if you don't deal with your deceased population, you can get some diseases. So I think our park is turning out pretty darn good. I do want to log off, but again, this game is roping me in, and you know, one of the things I do want to do is just extend our park a little bit. We got a nice park, you know. I'd love to, you know, take a nice little picture of our park area, but to be honest, maybe we should just work on utilizing this area a bit more. You know, we could just go ahead and build there, and you know, I think that's pretty much good enough. Doesn't connect, but doesn't really need to. You know, we could always work on using some mods to get a connection. Why don't we just do that? That's good enough. What I am going to do is increase our usage, demolish those, and then hopefully we'll get somebody who wants to sort of fill in those blanks. Perfect. Just using every last square if we can. Alright, that is perfect. Now we'll work on transportation in our next video, but for now we've got a pretty darn big city, and we've got a pretty darn nice sized area, sort of a out of place large elementary school, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll expand this area a bit more as time goes on. So anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.